Good afternoon, Oviedo. I'm Lillian Ray, and today is Wednesday, May 19th, 2021. With COVID-19 vaccines becoming more available for lower ages, all of us here at Oviedo now have the opportunity to get one. To learn more about the vaccine, here's reporter Delaney Warner.
In March of 2020, the spread of COVID-19 was declared a global pandemic. And due to the dedication and hard work of researchers around the world, members of the general public were receiving doses of what's called an mRNA vaccine just 9 months later.
One of the really miraculous things that happened in the medical community and the scientific community is that we were able to DNA sequence the virus within 2 weeks. And internationally, that information was shared. Vaccine technology and new vaccines that come on the market go through a pretty rigorous development. And of course, the vaccines are tested in animals before they're tested in humans.
Messenger RNA vaccines are relatively new but have been studied since the 1990s. Here's how it works. The vaccine gives instructions to our immune cells, which then develop a spike protein found on the COVID-19 virus. Our immune system then responds to that spike protein and makes antibodies. Those antibodies then protect against future infection without the risk that comes with catching a live form of the virus.
If you look back at the history of vaccine development, typically if there's going to be a problem with the vaccine, it's identified within the first 45 days of having received the vaccine. And literally there are groups of experts that sit down and review that information for every single vaccine that's on the market every 2 weeks to follow trends. So there's a meticulous process to ensure that side effects are not missed.
Vaccine tested in humans goes through 3 phases. In phase 1, the vaccine is tested on small groups of people. In phase 2, the testing expands to hundreds of people with various dosages being tested for their effectiveness, and people with varying health conditions from various demographics are brought in. In phase 3, thousands of people from broad demographic groups help determine the safety and efficacy of the vaccine. The vaccine was then approved by the FDA for emergency use, and the first official shot was given mid-December. Since then, 158 million Americans have received at least one shot, and 124 million of those people are considered fully vaccinated, as they have received both of their shots.
I recently got my first dose yesterday, and I'm planning on getting my second one on June 7th. And I feel completely fine. My arm's just a little sore, but other than that, I feel fine.
In today's world, there is no shortage of information on the vaccine. The problem is making sure people know what information is backed by science and not by conjecture.
So a lot of the information that's misguided on the internet has to do with that somehow you're changing your genetic code by introducing a piece of genetic material, and that's not true, because it doesn't incorporate itself into your genetic code. The thing that we're frustrated with as physicians and scientists is that when someone hears something on the internet, they automatically send it on to the next person as if it were gospel. And that leads, just to the premise that if you hear something enough, then all of a sudden it takes a life of its own and becomes true.
But in reality, medical professionals across the nation are extremely confident in the vaccine's effectiveness at providing protection, even more so than immunity that comes from natural infection.
The immune response that you get from the vaccine has clearly been demonstrated to be much more robust and longer lasting as a form of protection than getting natural infection. People can still get infected after they've had COVID. The CDC says your protection is probably pretty good for about 3 months, but after that, then you're likely to be susceptible to infection again.
I think it's a really good way to lower the amount of COVID cases in the world, and it's just a good try. Even if it's not completely approved, I think it's still a good thing to try and keep them down instead of doing nothing about it.
About 1 in every 65 reported infections of COVID result in a death. The idea is that while there may be adverse effects from vaccines in a few people per million, the benefits of the vaccines far outweigh any risk.
But the key to the messenger RNA vaccine is that it's ready now, and it's here now, and so it's important not to wait.
For WROR-TV, I'm Delaney Warner.
Attention students, backpacks will not be allowed on the last days of school from Monday, May 24th through Wednesday, May 26th.
Cross Life is a place where students learn about God and have a good time, but a lot of people don't know what Cross Life is and what it's about.
Here at Cross Life Students, we're all about seeing teenagers grow closer together to each other, but also closer to God. And we do so many different things to do that. We have a Wednesday night worship night, fun time, games, friends, food, you name it. Come on out and worship with us. We'd love to have you join us. But we also, on Sunday mornings, we do a time of small groups where we gather together in smaller groups and we study God's Word together and we see how it applies to our lives. We would love to have as many high school students as possible from Oviedo come and join us here at Cross Life Students.
Every summer, Cross Life Students does a lot of things for high schools like Ultimate Frisbee and Beach Day. But the main thing Cross Life does is camp.
So the question is, why should you come to camp this year? Now, we go down to Lake Placid for 5 days. It's a great time of messages, fellowship, and fun for everybody, all right? We have Squad Wars this year. In case you didn't know, I'm the reigning, defending, undisputed Squad Wars champion of Team Fuego. So I encourage you to come, invite your friends, your family, your aunties, your uncles, whoever wants to come, and it's gonna be a great time.
Every summer we do a week of camp, and this year it's going to be June 7th through the 11th. We're heading down to Lake Placid, and this is an opportunity for you to just go all in for 5 days, Monday through Friday, where you can just be poured into, have fun playing games, doing squad wars, competitions, worship, you name it. We're going to have a great week, and we want you to join us. Head to crosslifechurch.com/camp2021 and register today.
Cross Life Students has a lot of things for high schools to do. But even with all this, why do students still like to go to Cross Life?
It's a great environment to be around, great people. And also, we learned about relevant topics that kind of like apply to us high schoolers today. And we have games and we have food.
I think you should come to Cross Life Students because it's a place where you can meet new friends, you can connect with one another, you can grow closer in a relationship with God, or maybe meet God for the first time. We truly believe this is a life-changing opportunity for you to learn about where you stand with the Creator of the universe.
I go to church because I like to hang out with friends and have a lot of fun with them, and we do a lot of fun things here. And we have worship, which is also fun.
Cross Life is a place of fun and learning about the Lord and more. With events like camp for people to enjoy, and Cross Life is continuing to do this and more to help entertain students and help students learn about the Lord. So come out to Cross Life. With WROR-TV, I'm Robert Bellamy.
That's all we have for you today, Oviedo. We'll see you for our final show of the year tomorrow. Have an amazing day, and as always, go Lions!